I'm Xtra Magazine senior editor Mel Woods, and let's fact check the comments! So we've made a bunch of videos about Alberta Premier Danielle Smith's latest obsession with rolling back trans rights, and y'all have had some truly wild and incredibly inaccurate things to say in the comments. So let's fact check them, rapid fire style. Here's the thing, the issue of hormone levels and body types and competitive advantage varies across athletes, not just between trans and cis athletes. Like, just look at Michael Phelps next to all of these other swimmers. If we're talking about unfair advantage, Rory, are you calling for Phelps to be banned from swimming, or for couples figure skaters under 5'2" to be banned because they're smaller and easier to lift? No, you obviously aren't. You just want to come for trans women. Yes, there is research that going through testosterone-based puberty changes your body in certain ways, but there's also tons of research out there pointing out how undergoing medical transition lessens a lot of the T-based puberty effects in trans women. And all of these anti-trans advocates complaining about this unfair advantage never seem to mention that trans women are not out here raking in the gold medals and dominating cis women, like, ever. Oh boy, first off, children are not having bottom surgeries. Y'all are being hysterical and truly just making that up. And despite what this commenter and the Premier of Alberta seem to think, puberty blockers and hormone replacement therapy are not generally sterilizing drugs, especially puberty blockers, which by design pause puberty. But it starts right back up as normal once somebody goes off of them. And yeah, some forms of HRT can lead to an inability to biologically have kids in some trans folks, something a doctor and you talk extensively about before starting. But many trans folks go on to give birth too. In fact, there's a thriving community of so-called seahorse dads, or trans men who carry their own kids, which we love to see. And also, on the point of brain development, which multiple commenters brought up, according to the National Institute of Mental Health, a person's brain doesn't actually finish developing until they're in their mid to late 20s. Which is why this argument just, straight up doesn't make sense at all. And also, like we've said over and over and over, the whole point of puberty blockers is that they're given to kids of a certain age to stop puberty before it happens. So you've got to be under 18. Okay, no. There are plenty of reasons and situations where a parent is not legally responsible for their child. You know, for example, according to the Alberta Family Law Act, the ability to make decisions with regard to a child is tied to guardianship, not parentage status. And there are lots of situations where a legal guardian, rather than a child's biological parent, might make those decisions. The Family Law Act also requires all decisions involving a child to be made in the child's, quote, best interests. And if the child's guardians can't agree on that, then the judge gets to decide on what that is. Which is all to say, no, Jessica, parents are not necessarily legally responsible for a kid in every single way.